What's up, Star Wars Unlimited fans? It's Loopy here from Late Night Gaming, and we are here at the long-awaited finals of the Spark of Rebellion Open 1. And commentating this game with me, thanks for coming, Alexk, who ended up being the champion. How you doing, Alex?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
It's a great day when we can talk about Star Wars cards. So, set the
I
scene.
hear that.
This was the final match. What time was it played?
This was about 8:15 p.m. after an 11 a.m. start.
Yep. So you've been playing Star Wars cards for a good, 9 hours that day?
Yeah, it's a great day. You can't really beat that.
Right. And you had actually played your opponent earlier in Swiss.
Correct. It's the very first match, and I had a horrible misplay and caused me to lose the match. So going into this, I'm definitely hoping to get my revenge.
All right. So Revenge of the Boba Fett. It's the deck that is the best deck in my opinion. Everything else is adjusting to it. Tell us about your list. It's in the comments for the viewers.
Yeah, my list again, nothing out of the ordinary as far as Boba Fett list. Slightly text for aggro with some shoot first in the main deck, but I did keep in 2 traitorous as well that helped in the Boba mirror, which paid off since I played 4 or 5 mirror matches across my 9 games that day.
All right. Well, let's get going here. You guys rolled for initiative already, and this is the start right after the resourcing. And you are on the left. The other player was Picardy third, who's seated on the right with the blue sleeves. You have I think the Game Genic art sleeves is what those are.
Yep.
All right, and we have Cartel Spacers played by both players in the first round. Tell us about that card.
Yeah, it's something that I actually cut down to 2 of, but I've had games where it won me the game because I drew it out of the first round and it didn't have any space answers for a while, and that thing just clocked away at their base. And it does a good job, and you can bring it out of the Vader and get the exhaust at a crucial moment in the game. So very solid card.
And in the beginning of round 2, both of you attack with your space tacos, as my son calls them. And that was a resupply, I think.
Yep, I got the ramp, and as you'll see, the ramp in this mirror match really makes a huge difference. Like when I'm mulliganing in the mirror match, that's the only card I'm looking for is one of the ramp cards.
And what's the other ramp card in Boba Green?
It's Super Laser Technician, or DJ Death Star, as some like to call it.
It's almost like somebody might make a video about zapping the DJ.
That'd be a good video. And unfortunately for Picardy here, he did not get the ramp. So I definitely have an advantage going in to get Boba out first.
Yep. So, and I see you take a pretty long time thinking about your resource decision before that, and you guys are playing lightning fast. Degree resourcing is some of the most important decisions you made?
I definitely think so. I think it's a really cool design aspect of Star Wars Unlimited, and creates some really interesting decisions early on because it can really be very crucial, deciding what to keep and what to put down.
Right. And you're always crafting your hand for future turns.
Definitely. And sometimes you have easy decisions to make, but other times it can be, decide a game whether you get the right card in your hand or put it down.
All right. And then we have a Steadfast Battalion come in and kill the Boba Fett unit. Should have been 1 overwhelm. Nope, it's not overwhelm because Boba has 5 health.
Yep, and in this case, I was too greedy when my first round was switched against Picardy the third. So this time I just played the Steadfast and without having a leader out, just to get the kill and get the resource back with Boba Fett.
Right. And you were able to ready 1 resource with the leader side of Boba Fett. Then he deploys. Attacks for, it should be 8 on his base right now. He's using a Marvel Champions dial, which is a good way to mark health, but it's a little difficult to see.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get one of the Game Genic token packs, which are hard to find these days, but they're pretty nice.
Yep. I think my Game Genic tokens are still in Madison a week and a half later as we're doing commentary because I left.
Oh no.
I didn't stick around for all the finals because I had a late night gaming stream to do.
So you can see at this point, I'm pretty ahead with having Boba out the turn early. He's got some more space presence, but I've got a pretty strong, lineup there on ground. That's gonna be hard for him to come back.
Yep, and he has initiative. I mean, if he has Barrage here, I think that's the play because it can significantly hurt your board. I mean, the overwhelming Barrage card, who draws it and when, and who has initiative when it's relevant, I think is extremely relevant to who ends up winning a Boba match against, a Boba mirror.
Yeah, I think Barrage is the best removal card in the game, and it can win games single-handedly.
Okay, and he chooses to trade a Boba unit into the Steadfast with ECL. I think was play on the gun.
Yep, and I decided to go with a Spacer first so I can get that damage in before we can trade off with the shield on the defender.
Right. I presume. Well, you might not be playing Barrage here because it could only kill the Spacer and take a shield. Is what it would do right now. He attacks you for taking you to 6.
I think an interesting thing about Star Wars Unlimited is like with the very back and forth actions, you have to often think about the exact sequence of your actions because it can make a big difference.
And you take in a surprise strike for 7. Take him to 17 and ready the resources immediately after because he chose to sacrifice early that Boba, which turned on your leader ability.
Exactly, and I believe I'm holding up Fire Spray here, so I wanted to, only play me, make sure I have resources left for that because that will, definitely win the game right here.
Yep, because he just goes to 20 there. He chooses not to kill the Spacer, which wouldn't have been relevant in the end, given what you just said about a Fire Spray, unless he's got a waylay.
And there's the Fire Spray.
I think the only thing that saves him is waylay. Yep, he scoops.
And I had to fight the Vader follow-up, so I really got the dream curve with the ramp into the Fire Spray and Vader. That's what you want to see as a Boba player.
Yeah, and I think that's the strength of the deck. I'll award you the win there on the scoreboard. It plays very well into curve, and its curve gets extended because of Boba's leader ability. Which, well, why don't you what does Boba's leader ability do? Somebody's maybe newer watching this.
Yeah, Boba's leader ability says when he's not deployed, there's a trigger that whenever an enemy unit leaves play, which is an important detail, that you can then ready a resource. And then when he is deployed, when he completes an attack, and that's also a key detail there, because he has to survive the attack for this trigger, you can ready 2 resources. So a lot of value from Boba Fett, and that's, I think, a big reason why you see him as one of if not the best deck right now.
Yeah, I do think that there's decks that are favored into Boba Green, but it takes a lot. I mean, you have to make some sacrifices elsewhere to be able to beat it. And I don't think anything has better than a 60-40 against it.
Yeah, I mean, I play the deck. One reason being that when it gets its perfect curve, I don't think anything can really keep up with it. Like the last game we just saw, that it was over, pretty quick.
Well, we'll try some Vader games. One of these times, if we ever get matched in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
We'll see, because I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, it can be beat, but it's hard to do. The other, I think the 2 decks that are thought to be the best matchup into Bobas are the Vaders. And that was actually your semifinal opponent that wasn't on the feature table was a Vader.
It was actually my 6th round of Swiss, and it was a very close game that almost went to time, and I narrowly won 2-1.
So there's some synergies there, and then there's a variety of decks that play villain blue-green that are pretty good for Boba. And that can be Iden, that can be Krennic, that can be Pelp.
Yeah, my semifinal was actually against Iden, and it was not an easy match at all, because once they get that Avenger down, I don't have any answers besides Waylay.
That was the Iden player with the showcase running ECL.
Correct, yes, which is a little bit intimidating to see a showcase when you don't have your own.
Well, you know, Boba showcase is a fair chunk of change right now. It's like winning the lottery.
Yes, definitely. I didn't get so lucky, but maybe next set, I tell myself.
Both of you are running a hyperspace Boba, and the incredibly powerful ECL energy conversion lab. I think it represented 19 of 35 decks.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what the next set will bring with in terms of the more rare bases that can compete with ECL.
Hopefully, a card that costs 1 that says "Kill anything named Boba Fett."
Well, yeah, we'll see. You never know. I believe I mulliganed this game because I did not have the ramp, so that was a mulligan.
Yeah, I think particularly in the mirror, it's more important to ramp than to play like a crafty smuggler.
Definitely, yeah. Like, I don't mind skipping round 1 if it means I have a ramp to follow up.
What did you sideboard? Let's talk about that.
Yes, so in this matchup, I sideboarded out the Consortium Star Vipers since they get traded off against the Defenders with the shield. So I put in, I believe, the 3rd Waylay and a 3rd Steadfast Battalion, since I only was running 2 in the main deck. And that can win you the game in the mirror match if you get the Steadfast trigger to one-shot their Boba Fett.
Right. How that works is if you have your leader deployed, the Steadfast hits for 7, so it's one of the things that can kill a Boba Fett the turn it deploys. All right, and he ramps, so he's got a good start this game. He's able to get an ECL off with Greedo and take out your Greedo there, and then you shoot first.
So I used Greedo's ability, which says when he's defeated, you may discard a card from your deck, and if it's not a unit, you may deal 2 damage to another unit.
That's right.
And so
Greedo shot first, shot second, and all the Greedos are dead.
Yes, that was pretty clutch, because that doesn't trigger. I don't know the exact percentages, but it's not that high.
Deck list. It's rough. It's roughly a. So sideboarded, I think you would have had 1 more event. So it's about a 20, 30% chance or so. Never seems to work for me. But
yeah.
Any tournament, and there's a fair amount of money on the line for this tournament between first and second, because it was significant cash prizes. It was a high stakes tournament, so I'm sure you guys are taking any luck you get.
Yes, definitely. And we actually decided to split the first and second place prize evenly, so that we're basically playing for glory at this point.
Oh, well, that's a good way to be too.
I think we were both, after a long day, ready to just take a little bit of the pressure off. And unfortunately, in the second game, I did not get the ramp, but he got the ramp, so I'm on the back foot here. But I do have those 2 defenders, which will be pretty annoying for Boba Fett to remove without much great option for that.
And you also, your Boba will come out this turn, as will his. He used his ECL to ramp, which
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the end, it's a decent play, but he doesn't have the ability to play a steadfast battalion of his own anymore.
Right. Yeah.
He has it. He hits you up to 8 damage with Boba Fett. I believe without resources tapped, so he doesn't get any benefit from the leader ability. He's at 9 with your 2 7th fleets coming in. 7th fleet is a very awkward card to remove in space. It only has 2 health, but it has a shield.
Right, unless you have a deck that runs Make an Opening, that's the best card that beats that. So if you want to beat Boba and you're playing some kind of control, you want to put that Make an Opening in there. So it's a great answer.
The other card that I think is getting more and more play out of Aspect is Vigilance, which is very, very strong to heal 5 and kill something like a Crafty or a 7th Fleet against a Boba deck. He plays a Fire Spray, which is a near broken good card.
Right, and I remember correctly, I might have had a slight misplay here. I think I was holding a Surprise Strike, and it might have been a better play to not attack with one of the defenders to trade in the Fire Spray, but I might have not sequenced that most optimally. And at this point, I feel like he's the beat down. I kind of need to start controlling, so I trade into the Boba Fett.
You hit it, and you take damage to your base going up to 16. But Boss comes in and finishes off Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
It also provides a useful ability too. Boss triggers any event played 2 damage. So we'll see if that comes into play. He starts the next round with initiative.
Yeah, I mean, Bosk in this deck is really there for the ambush because the idea play is to play him on 5 and get that kill so you can get the resource back with the Boba Fett ability. And if his ability triggers, it's just kind of a nice bonus.
So I think right now with the board state, he's going to barrage and decimate your board.
Yep, and that's pretty much game. So at this point, I don't think I had any kind of waylay or anything that could just take out his Fire Spray, unfortunately.
It's a very difficult card to remove 6 health. It takes it out of range of a lot of things.
Exactly, yeah. And so here, I attempt to steal his defender at least to stop lethal on this turn, but it's probably too little too late.
And then he waylays it back to his hand, which is how that works. The Fire Spray can spring in for 7, bringing you to 23. You can't kill it. The 2 trades would cause it to die when the barrage expires in the regroup phase.
Yep, and that's exactly what I'm thinking about here is how I probably need to trade because going face for 6 doesn't do it because otherwise he can just take initiative and then win in the first round of next action or next round. So first action next round.
Yeah, he's tapped out because he could hit. I mean, the Fire Spray has a not often used ability to exhaust a non-unique unit.
Mm-hmm.
He would have had the ability to take to exhaust one of the 7 fleets. I don't think that they're unique.
And that'd be actually a pretty critical point of the next game is how the ability could turn the game around.
Right. Yeah, it's something that I think Boba players need to think about and miss sometimes. Particularly decks that are upgrade focused and things that are potentially non-unique. All right. Look, Traitors is an excellent response there. You have 2 health remaining, so he needs to be able to stick something and do any damage, essentially. Boba has no meaningful healing.
Yep. And especially since I cut out the Star Vipers, so I've got 0 healing at this point.
So Star Vipers are terrible into the mirror. I mean, it does not match up with the 7-foot defender well. All right, he comes in with a sad Vader.
Yep, that was basically curtains here. Though I believe I played out as I'm of the mindset that you never concede, unless something like this time is a factor or something like that.
Not over till the fat lady sings.
Exactly.
Not in a tournament.
Yep. But that's the worst case scenario for me, seeing the Vader pull the Boba Fett unit. I spent a little bit of time just trying to think of any possible outs here, but I think after some...
I mean, almost certainly he's going to claim take initiative after this action. So, I mean, you really have to answer both a 7 health unit and a 5 health unit to survive lethal, but it would not... Looks like you're going to play it out. It looks like you have a Vader of your own. You can kill the Boba Fett. I mean, you're not running a cell block guard.
Yep, that would possibly save me here, but
I don't think it's the correct play to be running a cell block guard. I mean, that's one of the few things that maybe there, and there's the concede, because he would have to deal with the opening action. Go to game 3.
Yep, that's why I had the fire spray, but just never got a chance to play it. I was behind the resource the whole time.
So far, the player with initiative is 1.
Yes, I'm at this point feeling pretty good. At least having initiative going into the final round.
Right. Oh, best of 3 works in Star Wars Unlimited is the player who lost the round previous has initiative. It's only the first one that's random.
I think we can take a moment and admire the L8Night Gaming mat and initiative token we got.
Oh, aren't those beautiful?
Yes, I might have to talk to you about getting one of those for myself.
Oh, I didn't give you one in Milwaukee? Oh.
No, I got the token, I'm saying the mat.
Oh, a L8Night Gaming mat. Well, I may have a few remaining. There's a cost to those, but we'll talk. If you keep winning tournaments, maybe we'll give you one to get free advertising.
Sure, yeah.
And as we're wrapping up and going into the final round or the final game of the final match, I mean, a huge shout out to Misty Mountain. Wisconsin is blessed with great gaming stores supporting this game. Both Madison and Milwaukee are hotspots.
Yeah, and I'm very pleased with the turnout we've seen, because I'm very obsessed with this game, and I'm glad to see that others are feeling the same.
The more you play it, the more you like it, in my experience. It took me a while. Have you tried Twin Suns yet?
I have not. No, have you?
I have, and it is great. And it was interesting too. I've been a CCG general kind of gaming thing too, and we had our little Star Wars Unlimited channel, and the Star Wars guys were playing that for a long time. You show them Trip Crafty Smugglers, for a
yes.
I don't think that's a card you want 3 of in your opening hand.
Correct. This is not poker. I don't want 3 of a kind. So
right. I drafted once and pulled Trip Wookiees. I had 3 Chewbacca's as my leader choices.
Oh no. Okay.
I took Chewbacca. All right, we'll give Picardy the win. We're gonna go to this match. Going back to the story about Twin Suns, though, is we played it on our stream. And we posted some of the results, and all of a sudden, some of the commander guys were interested, right? Because it has obvious parallels to a format of Magic the Gathering called Commander. That's more fun, kind of more casual singleton format, I believe, as well. And I think Twin Suns really did some stuff. The games are pretty quick; they don't blast and they don't drag. So I'm really looking forward to that. And as the card pool expands, that'll get more fun. Right now, a Twin Suns deck is very particularly if you choose a double aspect. I mean, you're playing the cards that exist.
Right.
So, but deck building will become a thing with more sets.
Yeah, that makes sense. And aren't they going to expand the hand sizes or the deck size as well?
All right, so you have a pretty good hand. I mean, you have a
Yes,
cartel spacer. I think I saw a barrage, and I think I saw a resupply.
and then a Bosk as well.
Right, and resupply is between the two. You guys are passing the late night token back and forth.
There's a slight confusion. I was supposed to start first, even though he went first, so we just amended that.
Yep. Yep. No, that'd be the interaction. And Pickard needs a class act too. He's doing some of the commentary, or done some of the commentary, for us too. So he wouldn't intentionally leave a player.
Oh, definitely. And it made no difference. We were able to resolve it. And so, yeah, there's the resupply, which is at this point feeling good about, because when you're playing Boba Fett and you see 4 resources on your turn, you feel pretty bad about that.
Yep. And then if he has a super laser tech, we haven't seen his hand, but he can't. He does have a super laser tech that can't kill itself.
Correct. Yes. Well, pretty quick first couple rounds. Going into the Boba flip turn, which is the critical turn in this map.
Yep. Your Boba flip is going to happen before his. When your Boba comes out, he'll have a target for the super laser tech to probably bring him to 5.
Yep.
And we'll see what you do. But, I mean, I know, and he knows that you have a barrage, which is
Yeah, I'm holding that Bosk, and there's, I did think about for a moment, you'll see, where do I play the Bosk into the probe droid knowing that he'll just get to kill the Bosk with his own super laser tech? But I do opt for that play because at the end of the day, I think this applies to a lot of decks, a lot of plays, is that you kind of want to just do the plays you want to do and not always play around what your opponent's doing. And especially if you have the initiative and you're kind of playing the beatdown, you just got to do your thing and hope that your thing is better.
Right. And this allows your Boba to come out before his. I mean, he would you would have had the ability to barrage off the cartel spacer, which would have cleared his board, but that would have given him the ability to then deploy.
Yep.
I think I like this line better. I don't know if you have an event that costs cheaper now or not, or something that costs 2 or 3 is what you want now, because that's what you have access to.
So yep, at this point, there's not really I could consider trading, but I'm trying to kill him before he kills me, so I'm just gonna go face.
Did you play Hearthstone?
I did, yes.
All right, and then he does have a surprise strike.
Yes, which did feel a bit bad at the time that he gets to keep his Boba with mine dead, but.
And then I think what you're talking about there is the Boba ability was active because of a Bosk left play.
Yeah.
That's not obvious is a leader being defeated doesn't leave play. Right? Waylaying something does, but a leader being defeated.
Right.
Doesn't. And you did have a 7th fleet there, which allows you to develop your board a little bit better and put an existential threat to his space taco. Your both ECLs are still active.
Yes, they are. And so I'm trying to remember if I drew into the fire spray. I have that barrage. This could be an interesting barrage to take out his Boba.
Yeah, and can do a couple. You can take the spacer to 1 health with it too. All right, you use the marker to indicate the epic action of Boba Fett was used.
And I think that's what I'm thinking about. I'm pretty sure I have a fire spray and the barrage, and it's a question of do I care about his Boba staying alive? Because the problem with playing barrage is that it puts me off curve then, and so I think I stall here a little bit by just attacking with the spacer. I believe
8 damage. 17 remaining health on ECL, which is a 25 health base.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett hits for 4, doesn't get any ready because he hasn't spent anything and nothing's left playing.
I think I'm thinking here about the sequencing. Like, do I want to attack with the defender first or just play the fire spray? And hindsight, not a big difference in the sequencing, but when you're playing...
Yeah, I think it matters most if another fire spray comes out.
Right. So I decided to attack his base first.
If another fire spray comes out and you have shoot first in your hand. Did you keep that in your there's his fire spray. Did you sideboard out the shoot first?
I don't believe so. I do think it can be nice to get that basically free trade.
Right. You would have had to kill the spacer with the 7th to ready the resource, but that's a line that's potentially available. He should go base here. I imagine. It does. Taking you to 13. 14. And you hit him for 5.
All right, coming down to the wire. These will be the last round that will decide here with the fire spray versus fire spray. So he plays Change of Heart to just destroy my own fire spray. Which I'm not feeling good about at the time, I'll admit. And I believe I'm holding a Vader right now and a Surprise Strike. So I have to think about it for a little bit. But I think I do recognize that I will have lethal on the board with the 5+3 attack for 8. I think he should be at 17. I can't read the dial.
Yeah, I can't read it either. I had it tracked to 14, but it looks like a 6, 7, or 8 to me.
So it actually took me a moment to find this lethal because it felt like the Vader on curve play was not a bad play, and I do end up finding it. So I sequenced it correctly by using the Surprise Strike on the spacer.
Takes him to 23. Now you can see it well. So he must have been at 18.
Yes, and so here it's crucial he only has one resource, because if he had the 2 resources, he'd be able to exhaust my defender and win the game here. But thankfully he did not, so that's why I was able to close it out and take home the championship.
Right, and the Change of Heart kills the fire spray because it's unique. And you know, he can choose which one dies, when it happens. So, all right, well that was the final.
Yeah,
and I think that it's a testament, looking at that last play, that think about your actions, because when you have 7 and a Vader in your hand, which is the best unit in the game, that seems like the right thing to do. He tapped out. If he had the fire spray's ability still active there, he could have exhausted the spacer, just didn't have the resources for it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very close, and I partially attributed it to waiting that roll off and going first and having the initiative in 2 out of 3 games.
All right. Any final thoughts from the grand champion? It sounds like you guys split the purse, but what do you want to say to people that are just kind of getting into this game?
Yeah, I would just say go for it. If you love Star Wars, or if you don't love Star Wars, the game is great. The back and forth actions to me is very interactive. You're not sitting there for 2 or 3 minutes waiting for your opponent to combo you to death. You get a lot of counterplay. So great game. Definitely try it out. And if you're disheartened by the meta right now with Boba Fett, just wait a couple months and it'll have a new set. We'll double the card pool in July. and I'm just really excited to see what comes next for this game. So,
or watch my Vader Force Ramp tech. You know,
that as well. Yeah.
see that as goes, or roll up a pale blue. All right. Well, thank you very much, Alex. Thank you, everybody, is watching, particularly if you watched the whole series of these 10 excellent videos. And if you watched all of this, you're my hero. Signing off.